Welcome to the Future Skills podcast, and in this Best Bits episode, we are going to be hearing the origin story of Danny Coleman, the founder and director of Universal Skills Group, and Michaela Wayne. So let's get started and hear from Danny Coleman.
It was a bit mad for me, to be honest. I mean, I think a lot of it comes from your upbringing in terms of your parents and sort of friends, and I think my sort of parents and friends are still doing the same things as they was sort of 20 years ago, which is great, but that's all I sort of knew. And I was always very inquisitive, me, growing up, and wondering, well, how do I do this? Why can't I do that? So I think, in fairness, it wasn't till sort of mid to late 20s till I got into sort of construction. Sort of fell into a labouring job, working with some plasterers, and then from there I started plastering and found my thing that I thought, I love this. This is amazing. Again, I had friends in the construction industry, still do. I loved it, and I was happy to do that. So sort of got myself qualified as a plasterer, and loved doing that. But the main thing for me was a few years in, the aches and pains that were starting. So, I was always thinking, I can't do this forever. So what else could I do? And over the time I was plastering, I did have a couple of apprentices, which sort of was really fulfilling in terms of, giving somebody a skill, teaching them a skill, and then seeing them progress. A couple of lads who I had as apprentices are now, running successful businesses. So it sort of led me to teaching, wanting to sort of give something back. And from there, really, I got an opportunity with the Manchester College to teach, and absolutely loved everything about that. I was sort of apprehensive, like thinking, have I got the skills to do this? Obviously, coming from plastering to like thinking, I'm working at a college, am I good enough? And, do I have the skills? And, am I sort of winging it? All this kind of thing starts going through your head. And, I just thought one thing I always do is give things a try. So I give it a try, and literally from starting at the college, from not being able to really switch on a computer, and because I've never really been on a computer at the time, never needed to. And literally, it was like starting from scratch. So when I started at college, I was like, made it my mission to, understand how to put a PowerPoint together, and, how to get the best out of the sessions that we're going to deliver. So I did put a lot of time in. And over the time I was at the college, I did a 2-year sort of cert ed degree. So, a degree in teaching, basically. I did like a CAD course. I did my A units. I really worked hard for 2 to 3 years trying to get my skills up there, because, I just wasn't comfortable, standing there in front of people, not knowing what I was doing.
So that was Danny talking about his origins, and the main message there is to take the opportunities and push yourself along the way. So now let's hear from Michaela Wayne.
I'm from Bolton, if you can't tell, with this lovely thick accent, and I remain in Bolton forever. I grew up humble beginnings. I've got 4 brothers, 1 sister. We was brought up in a 3-bed semi in Brightmate, which isn't the best part of Bolton. We had lots of fun growing up, but we didn't have much money. We had free school dinners, free school uniforms, and obviously slightly embarrassing as a child. So I just always knew growing up I was gonna have money, and I was accustomed to this man's world, as people like to refer to it, due to me having 4 brothers and being beat up every single day of my life, I think, thinking I was like a WWF or something. So I was always into those kind of things. My mum brought me up to be a stern woman, to work as hard as I could to ensure that I'd be successful. And my dad had perhaps a bit more of a loving nature. And I went to university randomly doing religion and special needs. I wanted to be an RE teacher, sort of world apart from what I'm doing now. But the point was to help young women, actually. I wanted to be a counsellor/RE teacher. So I've always had this passion for helping women as well. And in a year out, I ended up getting a job at a magazine selling advertising, did very well. So decided to pursue that instead of continuing at university. And a few years later, hit a glass ceiling. Started my own business, did relatively well, invested in other companies wisely, and grew from there. So I've got several construction related companies now, but I guess this passion for always helping other women to succeed was just in my nature for whatever reason, and I continued on that journey.
That was great from Michaela. It was good to hear how she started on one path and found another path, and kept going and seeing what opportunity brought her along the way. Thanks for listening to the Future Skills podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you in the next episode.